Okay, Stephen Anderson. So tell me the story about you and fire engines.
Well, my family I grew up in the plains of Minnesota, and my mother's family had this fire truck factory that produced fire trucks there on the plains of Minnesota. And my father, when he married my mother, was promised a job working for the fire apparatus, and which was the name of the company. And so he was gone most of the time. His job was a salesman. He was so good as a salesman. He was better than anybody else there in the company. So they sent him all over. They sent him through Minnesota, Nebraska, Iowa, South Dakota, North Dakota. And so I really don't have a lot of memories of my father, because growing up, he was always on the road. He would come home on sometimes Friday, sometimes Saturday, and then Friday night and Saturday, he'd be out with friends, or he'd always take my mom out on the town on Friday nights, and then Sunday we'd go and do things. But on rare occasions, he would not go out until later on a Monday morning, when he had a fire truck to deliver to one of his clients. And so on those rare occasions, what he would do is he would get all of us kids up to bed, wake us up to get ready for school, with the promise that he would take us to school in the fire truck. And so we were all excited, we'd hurry up and get dressed, and then he would drive the fire truck with us in the front seat up to the school. And our school was this big thing. It took a whole block, the whole town block. It was in the center of the block, and then all the rest of it was just surrounded by asphalt and some trees coming out of the asphalt. So all the kids would play outside until it was time for school to start. And so when he drove up to the school, he would start the siren, and then he had this bell. He had let my brother Tom, or I, would be able to ring this bell, and he'd have the siren. Every kid in school would stop what they were doing and would look over at us, and we'd be descending down from the stairs of this huge fire truck. Of course, we were little kids, so this truck was this massive thing. But, we always felt so special when we got to go to school in a fire truck. And so that's, like I say, I don't have a lot of memories of my dad, but that's one that even when I talk to my brother Tom and ask him, what do you remember about Dad? His first memory is the fire truck.